Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. You can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Bell SRT Modular helmet, available at RevZilla.com. This is the SRT Modular, brand new for the spring of 2018. And right out of the gates, you're going to notice, that is a sporty modular. Bell's taking what worked with the Revolver and they're taking it up to a more medium range investment level. And what you're really buying is fiberglass composite and some of the race DNA that they steal from more of the sport oriented helmets. Now, if we think modular, which means it's a flip face, right? So you can wear this helmet in the chin bar down position, or you can flip it up, get some airflow, talk to someone. A lot of people love these in the touring universe. There aren't many options that carry sport or race DNA. The SRT Modular does, the Bell Revolver does. And then you have the old granddad in this category that's actually not so old. It's the Sport Modular. It's actually called that from AGV, which is over the $700 mark, and that is 3 pounds, 2 ounces. That is a helmet of helmets, carbon fiber. Again, we love that, but this is about half the price. So coming in around the $350 mark, you have your blacks and your silvers and your whites. You also have your graphics, but you have a helmet that has a classic face shield from Bell, which is optically correct, flat, and additionally allows you to have your drop-down sun visor. So you get that sporty feel, but through the multitude of riding seasons and riding styles. And we're gonna get into that in a second. Again, you are fiberglass and you are 3 pounds, 14 ounces. And these days, I will tell you, while 314 sounds heavy, we typically aren't seeing many new modulars come in under the 3.5 pound or at the 3.5 pound mark. We just don't like to see helmets in the 4 pound range. So again, this is kind of right square with what we'd expect for this price point. Now, quick note on fitment. It is a modular, so you're gonna have a little bit more room in the cheek pads. And that means that they have to give you that clearance to be able to go up and down. But I will call the crown of this head is intermediate oval in its fit shape. And that's really, if you look at my head, that's my head shape. A little bit longer front to back, not overly round, not overly narrow. Right down what I call the fairway for the US market. Most people are intermediate oval. Use the size chart, we'll ship free over 39 bucks. And I'd love it if you click our logo, subscribe to us, RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Leave me your comments, questions, your feedback on the SRT Mobile. Now, diving in, let's work outside to in. It is a fiberglass construction. Compared to the Revolver, it's going to be differently protective. It's also going to be a bit lighter. They can put more in this helmet and keep a lighter weight because it's fiberglass versus polycarb. You also have 2 main vents. You have your chin vent and you have your top vent venting into the shell. 2 position, open and closed, and you have 2 position down here along the front, open and closed. The chin vent actually is going to vent onto the shield itself, helping you defog. Now, if we rotate around, you're going to see it is a sportier ventilation scheme, a sportier overall aerodynamic profile, great in the upright riding position. Most touring riders ride in that position, but because it's a little sportier, it's going to allow you to get into that 3/4. So think about the type of riding you're doing, and if you want to be a little bit more aggressive in your style or in your functionality, this will be a worthwhile option. Moving to the back, 2 passive venturi vents, allowing warm, moist air to be sucked out of the back, and you'd have a little spoiler keeping it stable as you're riding. Now, we did mention the drop-down sun visor and the Panavision system. This is one of the things I really like about this lid. Notice this cutaway. That's called Panavision. That's stolen off the top-end race helmets from Bell. They developed that for full range of motion, or full field of view rather, while you're riding, and especially in head checks. So it's nice to see that working its way now into a modular, typically set up for a less aggressive rider, but getting the benefit of that field of view expanse that you'd see on the racetrack or get the benefit from. Also, we have our drop-down sun visor, again, optically correct. Notice how far that comes down. Full coverage all the way down past the bridge of the nose. Again, you don't want this to stop halfway and give you that line of sight issue. Fully coming down, again, optically correct. And it does have a cable actuated system, which is operated from the left side, so you don't have to take your throttle hand off. Notice it does come down and it does lock up, which is a nice touch. Also note the gasket sealing everything from Mother Nature around the side, and then it is going to be a center lock, which allows you to ambidextrously open or close or crack. It does have a lock at the bottom as well. So you have your city position, getting some airflow all the way up. They could have given you a couple more detents, but I'm not really complaining that much because there's a lot of flexibility baked into this helmet. Now, I will tell you, this is the Bell shield change mechanism, which is super fast, super easy. I'm not gonna do it because you don't really need it. When you have a baked-in drop-down sun visor, unless you just wanna be the coolest kid on the block, you really don't need to spend a lot of time tweaking this helmet, but they are going to have a transitions shield available for the SRT Modular, which allows you to put it on, and it's just like a transitions lens. You go outside, UV light hits it, and it will turn to a light smoke. Again, that's coming down the road, but it's not available at launch for the spring of 2018. If I move my helmet up like this, you're going to see the inner workings here, your post, the way things are constructed. One of our gripes is that this chin curtain is a little bit too easy to remove. The side clips were popping on and off, but to me that's not really a gripe. And I already explained to you that while I don't consider this helmet heavy compared to other modulars, I also don't consider it light. For modulars, again, 3 pounds 14 ounces carries a significant weight, but it all comes down to, at that weight, how is it balanced? And this helmet actually has solid balance, and when we took it out and rode in it, solid quiet as well. Is it as quiet as something like a Schubert or a Sport Modular from AGV? No, but does it hold its own in the $300 to $400 price range? It absolutely does. Now, if I take it and I turn it on its side like this, let's start to deconstruct it. And one of the things I'm going to call out here is the way that this is done. Your probably best bet is going to be a sticky mount for your Bluetooth comm unit. On the other side, they gave you the slider, which we have right down here, which is going to actuate that drop-down sun visor. We don't love the placement of it. It does make it a little bit more finicky if you're going to go the direction of a Bluetooth comm unit. And notice here on our neck roll, which creates a nice tight seal to minimize wind noise and keep this helmet quiet, you're also going to see that you have these pops of reflectivity. So especially if you're in a 3/4 riding position, you have a better chance of being seen if you're riding in inclement weather or at night. Notice interior guts here, cheek pads, antimicrobial, they're going to be wicking, they're easily removable. Again, I see other helmets that have a ridiculous scheme to get these out. You can pull them out, soak them with water, ultimately get them wet, rinse them, they're gonna last for a long time. You can also swap sizing. They come stock for this size at 40 millimeter, and I believe I have a size large in front of me. Now, if I pull out my comfort liner here, notice 2 snaps in the back, and then I have 3 connection points along the front. I like to see those connection points on the brow of the helmet, not up at the top of the head. Notice these big cutouts are gonna flow air instead of having 2 snaps that are gonna create pressure points. So this is really well done, and I actually really like this tab system. I don't like the helmets that have a shorter system here that ultimately gives you, it's a little bit harder to put it in and out. This has 3 tabs. They go in far enough, they snap. They have 2 positions there, very positive action. You're gonna know you clicked them in. And we turn this inside out, notice, multiple densities of foam, multiple materials. Where you're gonna sweat the most is this open weave, which is going to wick on the side where it just wants to be comfortable and almost give you a cooling effect. You're gonna have more of a suede feel there. Again, premium guts, 3D, laser welded, or sonically welded rather, ultimately carrying its shape just like the cheek pads, will be functional, will last a fair amount. We move into the guts of the helmet. This is a first. I'm not used to seeing 10 to 20 millimeter vent holes, but this helmet takes it from 10 millimeter and they almost go to the 20 millimeter mark. They get much bigger. Notice interior vents on the top chimney are gonna channel air back, funneling it down and being extracted by those rear extractors. And also when I turn it just like this, you're gonna notice big cutaways. If you are using a Bluetooth comm unit, you have an area to put that speaker. Nothing gripes me more than some of those first generation helmets that were paired with Bluetooth where you didn't have that cutaway in the EPS, and after a while it's really pressing on your ear because there's not enough space. This gives you the room to upgrade there, add a entertainment or navigational system via a rider-to-rider Bluetooth system that might be aftermarket adding on from Sino or from Cardo. So ultimately, I've kind of nitpicked around certain things like the weight aspect, which isn't a problem. It's just not as light as I would love to see it be. But I do think from an investment helmet for dollar in the modular realm, buying that flexibility, a big leap up and over from a fit and finish standpoint compared to something like the Bell Revolver. You're going to stack this up next to something like the HJC Arfa Max, but that's not going to be nearly as sporty. You really do have a defined niche here where it's Sport Modular from Bell here in the SRT Modular that ultimately carries some of that race DNA through, and I'm a fan of what they've done. The next step in your journey, click the info button, your desktop, your mobile device, visit the product detail page at RevZilla.com, read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. As always, we'll ship for free over $39. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with our opinion of the latest and greatest in the motor universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.